Look, do you support Israel? Do you support their existential war efforts? Do you believe that these Jews have the right to return? That's what this is. We're watching a public humiliation ritual, and it's an Israeli loyalty exam. Meanwhile, Los Angeles and the greater LA area is just burning to the ground. We don't have the resources to fight these fires. We don't have the budget. We don't have the money. We don't have the personnel. We don't have the infrastructure. We can't go in here and fight these fires. The best thing to do is just run, just flee. By the way, we're opening the purse strings to Ukraine, which is Israel 2.0, run by a Jew. And we're sending hundreds of billions of dollars more to our greatest ally, Israel. We don't have the resources to fend off these wildfires that just popped up out of nowhere. Los Angeles is just continuing to burn. And that death toll that we're seeing, yeah, that's not even close. The amount of structures that have burned, yeah, that's not even close. It's disgusting to watch. These fires are just ripping through neighborhood after neighborhood, burning homes to the ground, melting cars in their wake. And a whole lot of people believe that this is yet another directed energy weapon attack against the American people, and those people are probably right. As far as the eye can see, nothing but fire. Nothing but flames. No matter how these fires began, this was done intentionally. The trap was laid. The city was completely unequipped to handle this on purpose. Insurance policies were canceled with a forethought. Civilians and firefighters were left to die. It's also obvious. Los Angeles sends over $50 million a year to Israel, more than any other city in California. Between giving welfare to illegal invaders and subsidizing the Jews, LA's public resources have been sucked dry. They can't even afford to, and by design, test their own fire hydrants, and they can't even afford to buy proper fire equipment to put out these fires, again, by design. In fact, they sent fire gear to Ukraine. Didn't keep any for themselves. And that also was by design. Firefighters have had no water. In some cases, they don't even have hoses, and the only thing they can do is watch their city burn and hope that help arrives. They have become so desperate that they have started filling up women's handbags with water and dumping it on the fire. We've all seen these videos over and over and over again. So the firefighters don't even have the things that they need to fight fires to do their jobs. But still, people like Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass are out in the press bragging about how after these fires, Los Angeles will be transformed into a smart city. It'll be rebuilt as a technocratic hell on earth with self-driving cars, CCTV cameras, Wi-Fi traffic lights, and a whole lot more. Everything that you say, everything that you do, every move that you make will be recorded. Everywhere that you go will be surveilled. Eventually, you'll start getting arrested by AI-powered robot cops. It'll be like something from 1984 has come to life. But to make all of this a reality, first, the old Los Angeles has to burn. It has to be destroyed. There has to be some kind of a transformational event to usher in the future from hell, and that's exactly what these fires are doing. And by the way, the destruction and reconstruction of Los Angeles isn't some kind of a one-off. We've been doing this all over planet Earth for decades. The only difference is here, it's fire bombs instead of Hades bombs manufactured by Lockheed Martin or Raytheon or Boeing. Yeah, we've been dropping bombs all over the world, killing innocent people, flattening their land, ripping down its current standing infrastructure, and then replacing it with whatever the hell we deem fit. And here at home, smart cities are popping up all over the country. There'll be even more of them in the years to come as corporations like Microsoft and NGOs like the World Economic Forum and a whole lot more partner with cities across our country and all around the world to reimagine them. Smart city surveillance states. And this has already happened in Charlotte, North Carolina, a city that's entered into a direct partnership with Microsoft to integrate AI, constant web connectivity, and make sure that it's a part of your everyday life. And part of the everyday functions of local government. It's the perfect way to spy on everyone all the time. And it's very important to note that this smart city craze is coming at a time when there are serious discussions being had about abolishing international borders, especially on the North American continent. We've always been told Donald Trump is some kind of a raging nationalist. But since he was elected in November, he's been talking a whole lot more about expanding America's borders to include places like Canada, a country that's been overrun by third world savages. He also wants Greenland, and it just so happens that when you look at it on a map, Donald Trump's plans for a new America look exactly like those late in the 1960s by the Club of Rome, which plans to abolish the concept of nations and replace our countries with transnational superstates, with economic zones. They actually call the idea the New World Order. And under this New World Order, America, as we've ever known it, will cease to exist. America would just be absorbed into one big country, also made of, you guessed it, Canada and Greenland, the very same places that Donald Trump wants to absorb. And if you think, oh, well, this just can't happen, Stu, why aren't you talking about something that's actually important, that could actually come to fruition? Or if you think that the Canadian government is going to put up any resistance when the time comes to carry this out, you're out of your mind. Justin Trudeau, the illegitimate son of Fidel Castro, is stepping down as prime minister, and he's going to be replaced by a radical Zionist who's being installed as prime minister to make the people of Canada feel like they've really done something. Like they've really gotten rid of Justin Trudeau and all of his globalist buddies that have brought in real patriots to lead them to prosperity, and now everything will be fine. But in reality, this Pierre guy is just the guy who's going to preside over Canada's destruction and its absorption into the new North American economic zone. None of this is happening in a vacuum. None of this is a standalone issue. The directed energy weapon fires, the construction of smart cities, the destruction of international borders, it's all part of the same program. And that's a program that's meant to enslave humanity. Jeff Berwick has been following all of these issues very closely. He joins us now to discuss more on this. Jeff, thank you so much. Is this coincidental that all of this is occurring at the same time? How many different psyops are running currently on social media?
Oh, I look back at 10 years ago as, man, the good old days when you might have one psyop or one false flag or one operation a year. I think we've had about 10 already since the start of this new year. I said this was going to be happening. We're getting deep into the apocalypse, the lifting of the veil. All the masks are being taken off now. Some people, not enough, but people like yourself are seeing everything for what it is now, which is what I've been talking about for a long time. I actually wrote a book, The Controlled Demolition of the American Empire, about 5 years ago, talking about all these things and how they're going to be doing this. And to see it all happening now so fast is really incredible to watch. Just think about the last 2 weeks. First of all, there was all those drones, which they just sort of kind of disappeared. That was interesting. Then they had the fog that was over a third of the U.S., which we've since found out some evidence that it was full of some sort of bacteria, which is probably laying the next stage of the bird flu that they're going to be coming out with. Then they had the smart truck or whatever they call it blow up in front of the Trump Tower for their big photo op and their fireworks in the trunk. The guy driving over everyone in New Orleans, who they said was a military guy, but he was a radical Islamist. And the Fox News reporter went right into his house and saw his Quran immediately, just like Osama bin Laden with 9/11. And then the big one is the destruction of Los Angeles, which is exactly the same as what we saw in Paradise, California, which is probably just a test run. Then we saw it in Maui, which was way bigger. And this is exponentially bigger what they're doing in LA. And everything you said about it at the start is all what's happening. It's an operation. This is done on purpose. You even have Gavin Newsom. He's already come out so many times. The fires are still happening. There's Santa Ana winds coming in today, which is being directed from Area 51. We can see it with their next rad stations. And the fires are still going on, and he's already talking on numerous CIA media platforms, mainstream media, about how they're already planning their LA 2.0, their smart city. The fires aren't even out yet. While the lesbian mayor is on camera smiling, he's smiling and doing his little wiggle dance whenever he talks about how BlackRock's going to be buying up all the land. And the three top fire chiefs in LA are all lesbians named Christina. You can't make this stuff up.
There are so many stories coming out, Jeff, right now about anomalies that are happening with these so-called wildfires. What are the ones that stick out most to you?
Oh man, there's so many. Well, first, they turned all the water off. There was no water. And the person in charge of the water, she actually used to be in charge of the electric company, which was what they say burnt down, I believe, Paradise, California. And then she got put in charge of the water in LA and just left all the reservoirs completely dry. So you have this fire that happened in the winter, which is not normal, with winds which are not normal, which is all probably from directed energy weapons, which I'm very well versed in because I've been hit by 3 of them already, probably 4 actually when I think about it. A surprise category 5 and a double surprise category 3 and a 7.1 earthquake during an Acapulco. So I know I've been like firsthand, they've been attacking us down here like crazy. So they're doing that. They've also got all of Soros's guys all out there lighting fires just to make sure it just even gets even worse. And in the meantime, they don't turn off the gas. They turn off all the water, but they didn't turn off the gas. The gas, if you go into a lot of these areas that people are showing, all these houses are completely gone and the gas lines are just pumping out fire. They still haven't turned off the gas. They're literally just burning the whole town down on purpose. And most people can't see it. And you look at a lot of these homes, it's the same as in Maui, same as in Paradise, where all the homes are completely gone, concrete, metal, just gone, while all the trees around them are still standing. And actually, one of the only things that survive in most of these areas are the blue recycle bins, which we know the color blue does not react to their laser weapon systems. And I can go on and on. It's just completely obvious. And if you pay attention to mainstream media and all their shills like Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson and Alex Jones and all of them, they'll just say, oh, it's the Democrats because they always got to do the Jones plantation thing. Say it's this side, it's not that side. It's not them. You would think at least a lot of the so-called patriots in the U.S. would at least be questioning, are we like under attack and heavy attack for years now with the Baltimore Bridge being taken down, L.A. being taken down, North Carolina being wiped out? You would think they'd at least think that maybe Russia or China was doing it, but it's not Russia or China. We know who it is. And it's a lot of them are Jews and they're trying to basically kill everyone on earth. And
we've been doing this for a very long time. You know, I alluded to it during my monologue leading up to your appearance, is this nation rebuilding that we've been doing for a very long time. And we have been slowly and methodically getting people used to the idea of cheering on war, where we go in and we bomb everything, we flatten everything, we steal all of the natural resources, we steal all of the technology, we steal all of the children, ostensibly, for trafficking and their organs and whatnot. We displace the native population, whoever we don't kill, and then we stick our missiles and stick our gay and trans and homo agendas and all of our, disgusting atrocities and crimes onto these lands, and then we send our military there where we set up permanent installations to protect these ideologies and these sick rituals. And anybody who tries to stop it, we just kill them. And then we talk about a reemergence of ISIS, which, by the way, was created by the CIA, or the reemergence of Hamas, which, by the way, was created by Israel, both of which funded by the taxpayer. We talk about weapons of mass destruction and horrific crimes, like some guy in a bat cave concocting this grandiose plan to fly planes through buildings on September 11th. We ignore all of the obvious, the dancing Israelis. We ignore the fact that Saddam Hussein didn't have ties to al-Qaeda and didn't have weapons of mass destruction, but yet just wanted to reject the Rothschild criminal central banking cabal. And then we rebuild. And we bring in these NGOs and we bring in these contractors and we spend billions and billions of dollars rebuilding these places. Oftentimes they do it intentionally shoddy to begin with so they can redo it again. So these contractors can double, triple, quadruple their gross receipts from the taxpayer and the federal government to go ahead and do this nation rebuilding after we've had and effected some kind of a regime change or something. Whoever wanted to reject the Rothschilds and the synagogue of Satan, we have to flatten them, make them the boogeyman, see Vladimir Putin, see Muammar Gaddafi, see Vladimir Putin again, Hitler, any of these people. And it just keeps going. So why do people think that they wouldn't have the means or the will or the motive to do the same thing here in Los Angeles? It's just nation rebuilding. It's just a different weapon. Instead of conventional weapons that were dropping bombs on kids, we're just lighting them all on fire.
Yeah, it's been very obvious. I've been saying it for years. Ron Paul's even been saying it for years, that all these things that the U.S. government has been doing around the world, they will eventually do it inside the U.S. The U.S. is basically going to be the last place that they do it. That's what my book, The Controlled Demolition of the American Empire, is all about. One thing I'd warn you about, Stu, is that word "we" is very dangerous. You said we took over these countries. That's actually part of their deep level programming that they do since a very young age, when they put you into the government indoctrination camps, the television mind control programming, because you did not take over those countries and destroy them. Neither did I. So I would just point out to you, be careful with those words, because basically that's how they kind of get a lot of people. They think we're the US government, and they're here to help us and protect us. It's the exact opposite of it. It's a giant criminal organization. It's been that way since day one. It's an extortion racket. It's a criminal organization, and they are now basically wiping out as many people as they can to depopulate the earth. That most of these people are satanic pedophiles. And people really just need to stop supporting these systems in any way that they're supporting it. And that includes stop paying taxes. You just mentioned they're stealing everyone's money and doing all this evil stuff. Stop doing
not only that, but you mentioned stop paying taxes, and you start to mention, the fiscal ramifications of all of this, economically speaking. And then you bring in and introduce and usher in usury into all of this, because all of the nation rebuilding that the satanic pedophiles, not we, you're right, semantics are important, are doing in all of these other countries. And now what they will do in the city of Los Angeles in order to build their smart city, in order to make the cityscape look like the futuristic pictures that Gavin Newsom has touted about the Olympics of 2028 happening in Los Angeles. Well, you have to get rid of what's currently standing in order to make that come to reality and fruition. So then they're gonna loan all of this money. Well, then, of course, there's going to be all kinds of interest on these loans. And so here comes more usury to enrich, of course, once again, Israel, who's responsible for the destruction of LA to begin with.
Yeah, they've got you in every single way. and so people need to wake up. First of all, they need to get ready, get prepared. This is it. It's going on now. It's for a couple of years there, when they did the COVIDs and they tried to kill everyone on Earth with the lethal injections, I kind of took it slow. I was like, well, it might be a few more years still till they really try to kill everyone really hardcore. But now it's very obvious. They're speeding this up incredibly fast. You've got to be physically ready, which it looks like you are very physically ready, which is great. Mentally ready, and that means getting rid of all your trauma so you can react basically like Jedi as this all goes down. Spiritually ready, so you're connected 100% with the Creator. That's the only way you're going to survive what's coming, and it's going to be happening soon. Deagle's forecast, which is a military contractor from about 10 years ago, said by the end of 2025, the U.S. and most Western countries, their populations will be down by 50 to 80%. And it looks like by what's already started here in the first 2 weeks of 2025, that they're probably going to hit those targets. And most people will not be able to handle what's coming.
I got to talk to you a little bit more in detail as you're speaking. Things are coming to my mind. Of course, for DirecTV and Dish Network, we're limited to time. So I got to get to break right now. What I'm hoping is that you'll hang out here and go off the record with me on the record in just a couple of seconds. Would you hang out?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to take a short break. Jeff Berwick, we'll have him on the other side.